Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a truly remarkable intersection of food science and sustainability. We're going to explore the Solani 2026 growth story. It's all about how a massive agricultural waste problem was brilliantly transformed into a clean label solution for a multi-billion-dollar food industry. Honestly, it's a story of incredible innovation, where the answer to a major food preservation crisis was found sitting right inside a tropical fruit that millions of us eat every single day. $16.79 billion. That was the global market value for fresh noodles in 2023 alone. Just think about that. This represents an industry with incredibly high stakes. I mean, fresh yellow noodles are an absolute staple in so many Asian countries and around the world. But with such a massive market comes massive urgent preservation demands. The economic pressure to keep these products fresh on the shelf is just immense. Now, contrast that massive economic value with this figure. 6.8 million tons. That is the amount of papaya seeds discarded as absolute waste annually around the globe. Up to 20% of the fruit's weight is often just thrown away. So what we're looking at here is a massive, completely untapped global resource. It's kind of your classic case of one industry's trash potentially being another industry's treasure. All right, moving into section 1, the fresh noodle problem and the spoilage crisis. So, fresh yellow noodles are a high carbohydrate staple, consuming about 12% of global wheat production. But fresh food like this has a fundamental, microscopic vulnerability. Because these noodles have a high moisture content and a mildly alkaline pH, they create the absolute perfect environment for microbial growth. Seriously, it's basically an all-you-can-eat buffet for bacteria. And here's the harsh reality for manufacturers. Left untreated, these freshly prepared wet noodles spoil in just 1 to 1.5 days at 30 degrees Celsius. In the past, this forced manufacturers into a corner, right? They were relying on synthetic chemicals to extend shelf life, even dangerous substances like boric acid, which thankfully was eventually banned due to severe health concerns. Today, modern consumers are actively rejecting chemical additives. We want clean labels, natural ingredients, and for sure, eco-friendly solutions. Which brings us to Section 2, the Solani 2026 Breakthrough, Repurposing Food Waste. The breakthrough arrives with a pivotal publication from 2026, spearheaded by Solani and a brilliant team of researchers. This paper really is the foundation of the Solani 2026 growth story. They meticulously investigated repurposing those 6.8 million tons of discarded papaya seeds. Instead of letting them rot in landfills, they analyzed their potential as a powerful natural antibacterial agent, specifically looking at how they perform in complex food matrices like yellow noodles. So the crucial point here is CPSE, or Kyrica papaya seed extract. Now, this isn't just a basic juice squeezed from the seeds, it's a highly concentrated, bioactive natural extract. By utilizing green solvents to pull out the active compounds, the researchers created a sustainable alternative that aligns perfectly with circular economy models. It literally solves a huge waste problem while meeting that surging consumer demand for chemical-free, clean product labels all at once. Let's get into the science in Section 3, how the extract works, focusing on its dual-action defense. The mechanism here is absolutely fascinating. Step 1, the extract is super rich in fatty acids and their esters. These act like tiny, microscopic needles that penetrate and destabilize the lipid bilayer. They're essentially popping the protective bubble of the bacterial cell wall, which causes all the cellular contents to leak right out. Then, step 2, with the wall breached, phenolic compounds slip inside the cell. Once they're in, they target and inhibit vital enzymes like topoisomerase, stopping DNA replication and protein synthesis dead in their tracks. The bacteria simply cannot survive. So CPSE operates as a really robust multi-layered defense system. Because it's an oil-based extract, it actually forms a protective hydrophobic shield around the noodles. This actively targets dangerous foodborne pathogens like Salmonella enteritidis and Bacillus cereus. And it doesn't stop there. As storage time increases, the extract interacts with the noodle matrix to naturally lower the pH. This creates an acidic environment that bacteria absolutely hate, all while limiting the free water available for microbes to drink and multiply. All right, Section 4, extending the shelf life, or how we're adding days of safety. The data from the study reveals a simple, totally undeniable truth. Untreated control noodles spoil almost immediately, crossing the critical microbial threshold in just a day and a half. But applying the optimal concentration of CPSE extends the safe consumption shelf life up to a remarkable 8 days at 30 degrees Celsius. I mean, wow, that is a real game changer for supply chains, distribution logistics, and radically reducing food waste at the retail level. And this magical extension happens largely through the regulation of water activity. In untreated noodles, there's a lot of free water available, which drives rapid, unchecked bacterial growth. In the CPSC treated noodles, however, those bioactive compounds and fatty acids interact with the water molecules. They effectively trap the moisture within the molecular structure of the noodle itself. This literally starves the bacteria of the free water they desperately need to cause spoilage, while keeping the noodle itself perfectly fresh for the consumer. Moving into our final section, Section 5, a recipe for growth, looking at the economic catalyst. As the study concludes, this is the ultimate payoff of the Sani 2026 growth story, achieving dual benefits. By integrating CPSC into commercial formulations, manufacturers are empowered to entirely ditch controversial synthetic additives. They can clean up their ingredient lists, enhance their appeal to a highly health-conscious market, and simultaneously maximize their market reach through incredible shelf stability. It's just a total win-win for both the consumer and the manufacturer. Which leaves us with a thrilling final thought for this explainer. If something as simple and commonly discarded as papaya seeds can completely revolutionize the preservation of the global noodle industry, what other waste is just waiting out there to become tomorrow's greatest innovation? Nature has already done the complex chemistry, We just have to look closely enough to discover it. Thanks so much for joining me, and keep questioning what's possible.